Hi. We're back.
Yes. I don't have a drink.
She's gonna have one though.
I am going to have one, but I don't have one right now. Hey y'all.
Would you like to know why Tam's not drinking? Because she is in charge of the podcast today. This is part 2 of episode 10. This is 10.5. Part 2. This is the A side. I was the B side. She's the A side.
It's about our favorite.
It's all her favorites because I am on vacation today. I'm just sit up here like this.
She gonna sit here, but she gonna have comments about everything that I say and do. I want look since I'm doing all the talking. To start, if you guys missed it, I did take a snapshot of the songs I wrote down that I liked from Takeoff CD, and we tweeted it out. Did you see that?
I did not.
Okay, I did tweet it out, the list of names, and then I threw the post-it away since you always tease me about
I
the
love your post-its. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I took a picture of it so
stuff on the podcast already.
So that if you want to know the songs that I did like from Takeoff's project, I still have not listened to Rapping Big Pooh. Sorry, work has been busy, so I haven't had a chance to really take it in like I want to. But I'm gonna assure you it's probably really, 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 really good. Yes, ma'am.
Did you introduce yourself? You just started the podcast.
I just said, girl, look, we on week 10.5. If you don't know who I am now, then start at the beginning. I was about to go Snoop Dogg.
That is not her name.
No. I'm Tam. That's Nick. You know what it is. Anyway. So, who else did I listen? I did listen to Swiss Beats.
Okay.
Swiss Beats Poison. Now, I liked the songs on it. A lot of people said it was trash. I don't believe it was trash.
Not at all.
It's one of the. It's really for me.
I thought it was a good CD.
I thought it was good too, but it's definitely something that you're gonna be hyped the whole time.
Yes.
So like, if you want to take it to the gym, yes, you're gonna be like the whole time. It's gonna push you through your workout. So it's definitely but it's Swiss Beats. I feel like all Swiss Beat songs are like that. If you really kind of think about them, like I always think about all the stuff he did with Beyonce and how it's all so hype.
Yes.
So if you need that kind of push in the gym, the Swiss Beats record Poison is a good choice. Is a good choice for that. So since we're doing favorites, I'm gonna do my favorites. And unlike Nikki's favorites, I had to pick artists because I couldn't pick like songs. And then like when I pick my artists, I know I'm gonna leave out like a million people. But it's like I like so much music, it's impossible for me to narrow it down. So I just focus on certain things. So to start, I said that I was gonna do this a few weeks ago, but this week is the first week of my Soca starter. So for people who don't know what soca music is, it's really like calypso music. And then most of y'all don't really know what calypso music is. But
I would hope if you listen to this podcast, you have some vast knowledge.
Well, here's the thing: is that soca music, comes from the islands of Trinidad and Tobago, but everybody gets it mixed up and calls it like dancehall and reggae, and that's not. They're different. They're very, very different, and unless you really listen to them, you don't really know. Most people don't know the difference. So I was talking to Nikki about a soca starter because if you know anything about soca music, or if you just take the time, like right now, pause the podcast, look up soca on YouTube, and you'll get a bunch of videos, and the music will be hella fast, and you'll be like, how the fuck do people dance to this?
It's a damn workout.
Yeah, it is a workout. It is a workout. But
I'm sweating just from that.
So what I wanted to do was a soca starter, and I played a couple songs for Nikki that are soca songs, but they're much slower than what you would really hear on the road. And it's like a certain, when somebody says on the road, it's like during carnival when they play mass and they're on the road marching, they play the faster songs to keep up the pace of people walking because they walk for miles. So it kind of keeps you going, and that's why the faster songs they play on the road more so than the slower song. But every year they do in each country they do what is like a soca monarch. So what they do is the song that gets played the most during carnival gets an award, and then they have the song like one of the best songs. Like so, one of the songs that I put on here for the soca starter, it won the soca monarch award in Trinidad, and it's a song called "Year for Love" by Voice. And it is actually it's not a fast song. It's kind of a mid-tempo tune, but I think the reason that people like the song so much because if you listen to the lyrics, it's very political about the violence in the street and that, you know, that the country needs to come together and we don't need that anymore. This should be the year for love. So it's pretty much, it's kind of a political statement in the song, but it's a really good song. So, you know, that was number one on the list, Year for Love by Voice. There's a song out that's really popular, and I feel like it was in a commercial, but it's called Hello, and it's by Kes the Band.
Can you spell that for the people?
Kes the Band is Kes the Band. So I know I'm saying it and that sounds funny. I don't have an accent. I wish. But I do not. I've been practicing it though.
Oh, we ain't gonna be able to tell you nothing if you get an accent.
Because I'm gonna leave the country. So I'm practicing it. I swear. Anyway, so Hello by Kes is really popular. It's like a poppy song, but it's still soca music, but it's again another slow song. Third one on the list I have is Splinters. Splinters is actually a fast song, and no, it's not about splinters in your hands. You. But it's by Shaw Marshall. It's a pretty up tempo song, so you'll see people dance really quickly to that one. Say Yeah by Preety is like a slow love song, so it comes in waves. One of my favorite soca songs that I kind of think is like a signature soca starter song is Big Bad Soca by Bungie Garland. And it's basically telling you what soca music represents. So that one is very poppy because it's got a lot of horns and it's kind of a loud, like a crowd builder type song. So it's not fast. So all the ones that I've given you except for Splinters, everything on this list is slow. One of the songs that was running for, I think it was Soca Monarch last year was Patrice Roberts had a song called Sweet for Days. And if you look up the video, she looks so pretty in her carnival costume in the video. Mm-hmm. But it's a really, really good song. It's a little faster like Splinters, but it's one of those songs that they played on the road a lot during carnival. You would see people, you know, and you would hear this in the song in the background repeatedly. So that was my soca starter. So those are like 6 songs. I mean, if you want to get into the hardcore real fast jumps, I could get you some of those. But just to start off, that's a pretty good ease you into it type list.
Get your cardio up.
Yeah, so to get your heart rate going. The reason I fell in love with soca, my parents took me to Trinidad for graduation, and I was there for 6 days, and you know they play their music on the radio just like we play our music on the radio, but they play everything on the radio. Like I will never forget that the first time I heard the song by Young M.A. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I heard it on the radio when I was in Trinidad. That was the first time I had ever heard it. And I was like, I don't know whose song this is, but I like it. Like, you know, so they and because they don't have the regulations like the FCC regulations that they have in the United States, mm-hmm. they can pretty much play anything. And the thing I appreciate about it is that sometimes they'll play like songs that are deep in the record that you would never hear on the radio. Mm-hmm. So when I'm at work, because I want to remain on vacation in my mind, I listen to the radio station in Trinidad like every day. So when there's new like soca stuff that come out, I already know because I had listened to it every single day. So so even though I wasn't raised on the island, soca is kind of new to me also, but I super love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Everybody who rides in the car with me hates it, hates it, hates it. So to hell with them, they're gonna listen anyway. But because when I drives, I'm in charge of the radio. Okay. So that was the soca part. So those are a couple of my faves for that. So that's how we're starting off this. So like I said, I did lists and not like Nikki's list. So I wanted to go back to the time when I first moved to Atlanta. So I did a list of ATL hip hop songs that are very important to me. I've lived here since 2000. And so number one on the list, it will always be number one on the list, and no one can ever take this song away from me, is Never Scared by Bone Crusher. It is my theme song.
You never, ever.
No,
let's get on my level.
Let's get on my level.
Doggone it.
Ah!
Too many nevers. I'm going to be quiet. But
Never Scared is, so I'm outside of the club and you think I'm a punk. That is Never Scared. Bone Crusher came out with that. I think I had I probably have been living here a few years, but it was everything to me. And anybody who knew me during that time, when it come on, my friends would call me from way away and be like, girl, they playing your song on the radio, because they know Never Scared is like my theme music. So, another song that I fell in love with, somebody else I fell in love with when I moved to Atlanta, is Pastor Troy. He had a song called Vice Versa. If you know anything about Pastor Troy, you know Vice Versa, because that was I just love that song. I remember I had first moved here, and Vice Versa was my favorite thing. And then I went back to Virginia to see my friends, and we went out and they played Vice Versa, and I got super hyped, and all my friends looked at me because they had never heard it. And they were like, we don't even know what this is.
You've been infected.
And one of my friends said to me, I think we've lost you. And I was like, maybe, like possibly. So Vice Versa by Pastor Troy. Okay, of course, Damn by the Youngbloods. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. Hey! So, so Youngbloods. Kryptonite.
I be on it. No, I'm not doing it.
No, that's right.
I'm being quiet.
Okay. Kryptonite by Big Boy and the Purple All Stars.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I had a birthday party. It was almost a fight because we played Move Bitch by Ludacris, and my sister was going to beat one of my friends up.
Get out the way.
Because she was like, if she touched me one more time and said Move Bitch, I'm going to punch her. So it was a whole big thing. But Move Bitch was like really the shit, because they filmed the video and the name of the club, and I shut the club down, but it used to be off of 285 and Glenwood and 285, and it was a club, and it was up in the woods, and I can't remember the name of it. If any of y'all remember the name of that club, write it in the bottom of the comments.
Ron gonna be in the comments. I was there.
Because I don't know the name of the club.
Comments, I know what it was.
It was like up in the woods because they filmed the video there. Everybody was so hyped because Ludacris filmed the video at the club, but they was there every week. No Problems by Lil Scrappy. Lil Scrappy had a really good rap career for a bit, and then he got on Love and Hip Hop and ruined it in my eyes. But Lil Scrappy, you don't want no problems. Come on, you don't want no problems. That's what I'm saying. Lil Scrappy, he used to do his thing.
You want no problems with me.
Now, for you,
What?
Trillville. You can never, ever.
That's my song.
Get on my level.
What?
Get on my level.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Trillville, and then I had to include Geeked Up by Fabo. I mean, it's by D4L, but it's Fabo. However you want to say. So that was 8 songs. I mean, I could give you a million more because I know that I left off like 1,000. But these were the ones that were, super very important to me. I know somebody going to put one in there that I forgot, and I'll be mad and be like, bitch, I need to do another one.
We're not done.
And so we're not going to do that.
We're done.
Yes. So, I went hip hop legendary for this list. And this is me growing up. And it was somebody I didn't put on here that I needed to. One of the first record I ever bought with my own money that my mama took me to the store was I bought Boogie Down Productions' Criminal Minded.
Yes.
It was the first record that I ever
a classic.
possessed.
A cult classic.
And so, you know, the bridge is over, Criminal Minded, all of that, you know, was they could do no wrong for me. So, you know, coming up, my mom bought me a record player. I mean, like I had vinyl. Like this wasn't a tape. This was vinyl. And I used to just, you know, I used to drop it and let it play and just play all the way through. That was kind of how it went. So that was the first record that I bought as a kid. The Symphony by Molly Mall and the Juice Crew. That was everything because it had my favorite people. Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie was in the video. You know, Craig G, Cool G Rap. So it had all of my people. Like those were rappers I was very familiar with. As a child, you know, where I'm from, people always try to cling to they one relative that's from New York City, and claim they from New York City too. I'm from Virginia. I'm not clinging to it. I have family in Brooklyn. I did have family in Brooklyn. Well, I did go up there for the summers, but I never claimed to be from Brooklyn. Not at all. I ain't been to Brooklyn in years. You know, that was kind of my thing. So, you know, New York rap was it for me kind of coming up. So Big Daddy Kane was my absolute number one favorite. And people always have that meme that if somebody was going to give you $1 million, if you could recite the song word for word and not mess it up and it would be raw by Big Daddy Kane. I can recite it word for word because that was my shit back in the day. Super duper loved him for all my life, forever, ever. And he's still fine, true.
Yes.
And then, you know, MC Lyte, Paper Thin. There was a lot of other female MCs, like the Roxanne Shantae's, but like I remember I saw it on like Sweet Tea was like she was everything to me.
Yeah.
Between Sweet Tea and MC Lyte, and it's just funny because I feel like a lot of people don't mention Sweet Tea a lot, but she was great for back in the day. She was it was a lot of females that were fabulous back in the day. So it's just sometimes you don't get to hear them like that, and you know, so MC Lyte was one of my favorites. A lot because I had her haircut and my hair was dyed that way, and people said I looked like her when I was younger. So I used to get that all the time. But then, you know, because they said that, I started to want to look like her. But I liked her as a rapper. I know that everybody loves A Tribe Called Quest, and The Tribe Called Quest is everybody's favorite group in the entire world. I have such a love for A Tribe Called Quest that it is amazing. But before I fell in love with A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul was always my favorite. De La Soul was, from the first time I heard Potholes in My Lawn, it completely fucking changed my life. Me and my friend Heather, it was like we found our tribe. Like we were just like, oh my God. This is everything we've been looking for. And it was like, we zoned in on them so tough. Like, we loved De La Soul. And I love them to this day. I have seen them a million times. I think the last time I saw them was probably like 6 or 7 years ago. Like, but anytime that they come somewhere, I want to be a part. Like, I absolutely love those dudes. So, that was one of my favorites. And I always have to give a shout out to my boys EPMD. Because that Got to Chill was one of the first songs I did learn all the words to. And we used to bang on the table and recite, you know, EPMD lyrics when I was at lunch. It was weird because it was just like, I guess for me growing up, I think as I got older, there was really like a divide between what female hip hop fans listen to and what male hip. But when I was coming up, because I'm old, we listened to all of it.
Yes. Absolutely.
And everybody and girls and guys were into all of it. There was no division or anything. It was we just delved straight into like that was it.
If you think about it, even back then, there was no female rappers. It was
Everybody was a rapper. Yes, it was. Yeah, it wasn't. There was no separate categories. Yeah. And the thing is I think that's the thing that I miss the most about hip hop is because I felt like there was room for everybody, and today there's still room for everybody, but they make you feel like there's no room for everybody.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of room for everybody because I listened to a lot of shit back in the day, like just anything that came out that we like, like come on, we listened to the Pee Wee Herman, like it was Pee Wee Herman. Man, we made that nigga rich, like you know what I'm saying, like
he was a perv.
Was he really?
Well, the masturbating in the movie theater.
Oh, Pee Wee Herman. I thought you were talking about the rapper that did Pee Wee Herman.
No,
the song, girl.
I meant the actual Paul Rubens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was in a room full of grown people doing the same thing. I don't know if that really makes him a perv.
You can't do it in public.
People do it in public all the time.
Not get caught. I ain't been caught.
Yeah, okay.
That's another podcast.
That is a whole nother story. Anyway, but so like it's just oh gosh. I just grew up in the I'm telling my age. I grew up in the Fresh Fest era, where you would go to a concert and you would see 25 hip hop acts and it cost you $10. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you hear us One Music Fest? $10.
$10. So
One Music Fest. I hope you listen. I'm just saying.
So it was one of that's how I grew up. So you kind of got exposed to a lot of hip hop artists. A lot of hip hop artists were touchable back in the day. Like I could really just kind of walk up to them. I always tell people the story when I did go and stay in Brooklyn in the projects with my great aunt who lived in New York. That Dana Dane lived in the same projects that she did, and we used to see him walking up and down the street all the time. It was not strange because even though we knew
people were not untouchable.
He had music on the radio and he had videos. He still wasn't untouchable, and he still lived in the projects. Like he wasn't making all that money up front. Right. Now he's probably making more money now than he ever was probably when he first started out. Yeah, in his heyday. Yeah. So it's just kind of one of those things. There's one person that I didn't list on my hip hop legendary because I just feel like everybody likes him. Like it's not any different than anybody else, but I have always been a fan as far as rappers. When I always talk about my favorite rappers, I like storytellers. Slick Rick was, I mean, I know the whole record. Yeah. Like Slick Rick was everything. I think I didn't mention him because I think he's on everybody's list. I mean, I would think that he would be on everybody's list.
If you like rap, he should be.
Yeah. I mean, and if you do your history, he should be, but everybody doesn't do that. So, look. Anyway, so that was, I could get into a whole grip of other things, as far as hip hop, like me having a J. Cole tattoo. But we're not even going to go there with Jermaine. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Jermaine. So we're not going to talk about that. So I didn't do songs for Marib people, Marib females and Marib males, and Marib groups. Rib meaning R&B. Because I just can't pick songs from people that I like so very much. My favorite female R&B singer of all time, forever and ever in life, is Shaka Khan. When I was a small child, I had a Raggedy Ann and Andy poster on one wall, and Rufus and Shaka Khan was on the other wall when I was a small child. I think I was in kindergarten. So
sometimes you just know who Shaka is.
You just know what it is. She is everything to me. Like, she's undefeated in my life. Like, I don't even know, what else I can say about her. And because I like Shaka Khan so much, and because this person reminds me of Shaka Khan, it's probably why I like her so much too. Is Erykah Badu. It's like, you know, they're very different as far as like what their message is and whatever, but sound style they kind of overlap a little bit. Of course, you know, I'm not gonna talk about Jill Scott no more because she's been talked about enough in the past 2 days. But she's a phenomenal vocalist.
That's all.
I will always give it to her. I had to bring up Anita Baker because you talked about Anita Baker, but I always want to tell people my favorite Anita Baker song is Fairy Tales.
I can remember stories, those things my mother said.
Yes.
Yes.
That is my all-time favorite Anita Baker song. But I just, you know, love Anita Baker as a vocalist. There was one person I added to the list that people really didn't know what she did because you only know her from one song, Lisa Fisher.
Oh.
But Lisa Fisher was Luther Vandross's background singer for like 1,055,000 fucking years.
Yes, that's how good she is.
And the thing is that a lot of times background singers don't ever really want to not be background singers. Mm-hmm. They don't really want the spotlight. So when she stepped out and she did, you know, she stepped out and showed out. The last time I saw Lisa Fisher, I promise you, first of all, I have to say this. My friend got me concert tickets to see the Rolling Stones. And we had seats close enough that Mick Jagger threw water on me. But what I did notice was that one of the background singers was Lisa Fisher. She was on tour with the Rolling Stones, so she was still doing her thing. Mm-hmm. She just was with the Rolling Stones at the time. So, and you know, so I was glad to see that she was still singing, of course. But I really would love, you know, love more solo stuff from Lisa Fisher because she had a phenomenal voice. Somebody else's voice I loved growing up that was a singer, and she influenced me a lot. I used to sing, I don't anymore. That I tried to mimic Karen Wheeler from Soul to Soul. Yes. She was the reason I grew locks. Like she was everything to me. Karen Wheeler was it. Like I was like, okay, see this woman?
You found your tribe. She
is who I want to be in life. So that was kind of, you know, the thing with Karen Wheeler. So when Soul to Soul came out, my dad had the record and I would just put it on and play it repeatedly so that I could learn the melody so I could sing it. So I would put the record on and I would stand in my living room while everybody else was doing whatever in the house, and I would just sing repeatedly and just start it over and just sing it and keep singing it. I guess it is called practice, but that's what I used to do because I loved her so much. Okay, so those are my female vocalists. I know everybody's probably like, what about Aretha? What about it? Some people you don't have to name because they just are, those are the standard. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, some people are just the standard. So I don't feel like I have to name those people. My rib groups, I am a 90s child. So y'all can name them all. Jodeci.
Forever.
Drew Hill. Look, wait a minute. New Edition. Look. Wait a minute. This one might throw you off. Levert.
No, not never. I love me some Levert.
And Intro. So
if you let me. Oh. Sorry. I thought this was it's not this podcast.
Not this podcast. But it was really about strong male vocals back in the day. Like, you know, even though Cisco was getting his yellow and Casey, they was both yelling. We love that shit when they yell. Come on. Do you think? Come on. Chris Brown wish he could hit a note like JoJo in them. He cannot.
He cannot.
He cannot. So, like, you know, I think we got spoiled in the 90s. Because, I mean, well, if you think about it, there was other groups who weren't as popular as these groups, but they all had strong male vocals. Yes. Like, and it was like once the 90s ended, then everybody sounded like a little child. And it wasn't sexy. Like, B2K.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, I did have to pause. to fix
There's
my
nothing wrong with your YouTube.
to fix my face. I had to close my mouth. So those were popular groups. Again, I'm probably leaving out 1,055 other groups, but these were the ones that had the most significant effect on me. Things I remember, like I mean, come on, and here's one group that's not on the list.
Okay.
Boys to Men is not on my list because Boys to Men became so popular that I hated them. Like, it got to a point that I was like, if I hear End of the Road one more time, I'm gonna flip 5 tables and stab 6 people.
I feel that way about Ooh Ah.
Yeah, like after a while, like after the first run, it was like the novelty of it wore off, and I never, I can tell you that there's a Boyz II Men song that I love that came out way, way later, and it's on one of my playlists, and it's a beautiful song because at the end of the day, them niggas can sing. Like that's not, I'm never gonna deny them that, but I just feel like they got so popular that it was like you ran it in the ground and you just don't want to hear it no more.
Saturated.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like whatever. So, so that was my groups. My R&B males, it was a little tougher because I just always loved Luther. I don't care who Luther was singing to, man or the woman's. I don't give a shit.
The phone book.
Yeah, he could be whatever. Luther could sing it. Like, and then it was people that were popular in the 90s, like, Keith Sweat. But Keith Sweat can't sing. So like I can't put him on my list. Like he was popular, but he not a favorite.
Can I tell y'all, I hate Keith Sweat.
Man, listen.
There will never be a show that I do that will ever have mentioned his name.
Something just ain't right.
Yes, your voice ain't right. If you're not begging, you sound like you holding your nose. I cannot.
My name is Irma, and I'm the vocal
No.
coach. You know who Keith Sweat vocal coach was?
Irma.
Nobody. Thank you, Irma, the vocal coach.
I gotta get out the camera.
Just call me Irma, the vocal coach. So like Luther.
Yes.
I'm Maxwell.
Yes. Fellow Gemini.
I was a huge fan of Eric Benet.
Hey, Eric Benet for himself.
Super good. I mean, when he made a record after him and Halle Berry broke up.
Which one?
Something about the storm. Was that in the title? So whatever him and Halle Berry split up, he made a record, but it was a song on that record that just broke my heart. Like I loved it, and it was like I had never stopped loving Eric Benet. It was just that I was, everybody had shamed the poor man, but Eric Benet still on my list. I have an unpopular
opinion about that, but I'm gonna just keep it moving.
Oh, we'll get to that. But my all-time favoritist of that era would be favoritist would be D'Angelo. He's hailing from Richmond, Virginia, and I remember the first time I saw him live. It was at Norfolk State's homecoming. My aunt worked at Norfolk State. She was like, "Do y'all want concert tickets to the show?" And we were like, "Yeah, who's performing?" And she named off some rappers. And me and my sister was like, "All right." My sister was probably like in high school. Mm-hmm. And we were like, "Cool." And she was like, and some guy named D'Angelo. And me and my sister were like, "What?" Like we lost it. We snatched the tickets up. But this is what happened. Whenever the rappers finished, everybody left.
Suckers.
And so when D'Angelo came on stage, like D'Angelo was literally where your chair is right here, yeah. And I am me. You are me.
Yeah.
So he performed like the whole Brown Sugar record for like a group of 20 people. Like I swear to God, there was nobody in there, and we were like this.
Yeah.
I was like, I am in love forever. Like just forever. And then when I got into grad school, I went to 7-Eleven in Richmond and started hyperventilating as he stood beside me getting a Slurpee.
He was getting a Slurpee?
He was getting a Slurpee.
He
turned around, looked at me and said, "Are you going to be okay?" And I said, yes, yes, I will be fine.
Okay.
I will be fine. And then I got my Slurpee and went back and told everybody that I knew. And then the girl started staking out the 7-Eleven.
He ain't coming back.
He never came back.
He ain't coming back. He just wanted a quick Slurpee in and out.
And it was funny because he's short, significantly shorter than me. And when my friend saw him walking to the 7-Eleven, she said, "Is that?" And I said, "Is who what?" Like, I'm like, "Who you talking about?" She said, "Is that D'Angelo?" And I said, "Girl, what you talking about?" And she said, "By the Slurpee machine." And I was like, "Bitch." It is.
Surprise!
Then suddenly I was thirsty. I need some Slurpee too. So yeah, I made a horrible ass impression. But either way. But he was my all-time favorite. Again, y'all probably gonna hit me up with 85 different male vocalists. Yeah, this is my list of favorites.
It's her list.
I like folks.
Don't add her.
But this is my list of favorites. Now, my sister probably would be like, "Bitch, you left off such and such." And then I'll be like, "Bitch, you right." But only my sister could really tell me that. Because she would be like, "You left off him and him and him." And, you know. And I'll be like, "Come on now, don't do it to me." So, those are my rib males. So, I got to some pop females. I had to put these two in.
All right.
Because before she was real popular, I had the very first Celine Dion record that ever came out. Everybody shut up, nobody judge me. And it was the same album she had done, Beauty and the Beast, with Peabo Bryson. And so this was the very first. I feel like you're judging me. Anyway, so I have most of Celine Dion's CDs because I lightweight love her. Like, she is one of my favorites. I don't care what people say. If she was still in Vegas, I would go. She has an awesome voice. I think that the first time I heard the Titanic song, I did cry because I super love Celine Dion.
My heart goes on.
Yes. So, Celine she's a bad bitch, man. She can sing. You just gotta listen. Stop it. Anyway, the other one, Gwen Stefani, I'm a huge fan. Super love her. I've always loved No Doubt. My sister is a bigger No Doubt fan than I am because she's seen them in concert. But I do love Gwen Stefani, so she's like my ride or die chick. I have a third person I can add to the list. Based solely on her first record, even though her records have been fabulous after that, but her first record was kind of like an R&B record, but people don't really know because they probably have never listened to it. Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson is super everything. So that's why when I see her on The Voice, it brings me joy in my spirit because she's a singing asshole. I love it. So yay for Kelly. So I don't have no pop males on here just because, you know,
it is what
it is. What it is. Like, I'm an NSYNC fan. We can just slide that in there. Okay. I like NSYNC a lot. So I have some miscellaneous tunes and a couple of
miscellaneous
artists, and then a whole ass record label. So just bear with me.
She got a record label.
Bear with me.
Half a record label at
a whole ass record label. Okay. So the miscellaneous tunes, Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Okay.
I need you to listen to it. It's a badass song. It's awesome as shit. Really good song. I remember I went to see Questlove spin one night at a club here in Atlanta, and when he dropped it, I just fucking lost my mind. And nobody knew what the song was. Well, at least none of the black people.
Really?
Like, knew what the song. Yes, because even one of my guy friends that was with me, he was like, "What song is this?" Oh. And I was like, "It's the White Stripes Seven Nation Army." So then he went to the store to buy the White Stripes. He gonna call me on the phone and say, "Why the fuck you ain't tell me the White Stripes got so many records?" I said, "Well, nigga, you didn't ask me which record it was on. You said, who was it?"
And And I told you.
So
Get the whole collection.
Just buy them all, bitch. Like, do it.
Diversify.
Yes. So I was singing the song earlier for Nikki, one of my favorite songs by the Dixie Chicks. It's called White Trash Wedding.
It is hilarious.
It's very banjo picking-ish song, but the lyrics are: you can't afford no ring. You can't afford no ring. We should be getting married, and you can't afford no ring. So that's how the song starts. So
summation.
You can just kind of go from there, with the daddy and the shotgun. It's really and truly a white trash wedding, but it's a really good song. There's a song by a DJ called Marquise Wyatt. He, anybody who's living in LA, he does a set, I think, twice a month at a club. He DJs, and I've been wanting to go to LA specifically just for that. He plays dance music, but he did a song with a guy who was one of my another favorite vocalists of mine, but he's British. His name is Shauna Scofrey, and it's a song called "I Love Days Like This." Mm-hmm. It will change your mood entirely if you listen to it. It doesn't matter if you could have heard the worst news ever, and if you listen to the song, it will change your entire fucking attitude. It's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorites. Love it, love it, love it. So get into that. Days Like This, Marquise Wyatt, Shauna Scofrey. And then if you get a chance, just listen to Shauna Scofrey's album. He's just amazing on his own. So that's a whole nother thing. There was a group that came out with one record. And I think it came out like in 2007. So I'm taking it way back. And it was a group called Weekend Players. And when I try to explain to people what it sounds like Sade's voice over down tempo music. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. To me it does, because I'm a Sade fan.
It's kind of like that, because the girl, I don't even know who the girl is that was singing. I couldn't tell you. But it was a girl singing, and it was guys, but the group was called Weekend Players, and they put out just one record, and never made anything else after that. And it's really, really, the whole thing is really, really good. So people should listen to that. Now when I talk about a whole record label, this is gonna sound so fucking crazy, but anything that was put out by Naked Music,
mm-hmm.
just buy it. Like,
just buy it.
Just buy it. If I remember correctly, Blue Six was on Naked Music. Aquanote was on was on Naked Music. But anything that Naked Music put out, compilations, DJ mixes, it was all good. So yeah. I want to shout out a whole fucking record label, Naked Music. They were based out of San Francisco at the time.
I support that.
Yeah. So when I said a whole, and then I cannot believe I was going to finish this off without my favorite group of all time. I can't believe it. My sister would have called me and cussed me out if I hadn't said this. And I don't have it written down. Okay. I am a huge, huge Radiohead fan. I own every single CD by Radiohead. And I fucking love Tom York and Radiohead. They can do no wrong in my book. Nothing they can do is ever wrong. I don't care what anybody says. You will lose that argument. They are my people for life.
It's your tribe?
That is my tribe. Radiohead is my tribe. So, they're my favorites of all time. It brings a tear to my eye. I love them. So, that is my book of favorites.
45 minutes.
45 minutes of favorites? I did good. Did I do longer than you?
Yeah, more than me.
Well, mine were different.
Yeah, more than me. Mine were different.
So, look.
We ain't talking about me, we talking about you.
But yeah, so that's my 45 minutes of favorites. I brought a book this time.
I was expecting a whiteboard. I'm very
I brought a book.
sad.
Look, hold on.
I was ready.
Shout out to CEO Millionaires.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, those are my favorites. Like, I mean, of course there's other things that I like, but those are the things that stick out for me. My musical taste is pretty much all over the world because I worked at a record store, and when you work at a record store, you kind of get stuck listening to everybody's music, even stuff that you would normally be like, I don't want to hear this shit.
You still gotta hear it.
You still gotta listen to it.
Yes.
You still gotta listen to it. So,
absolutely.
I think I appreciate that because it made me listen to stuff that I wouldn't normally have listened to that I actually kind of liked. Like, you know, I always tell people when I worked in the record store, we wanted to drive people out of the store, that we played Hank Williams Sr., his 24 greatest hits.
I would lead a store.
Yeah, everybody did. But we would stand there and we sang the song. So that was how I learned all the Hank Williams. Your cheating heart will tell on you.
They're going to run from the podcast.
Oh. That's how I learned Johnny Cash, too. I love Johnny Cash. So,
all right.
yes, I am done. I don't know if
This
Nikki
has
has
been the best
anything.
podcast ever because I just
She didn't have. Yes, she didn't have the same thing. She just made faces at my Celine Dion. That's all she did.
Anyhow, I think we only got time for like maybe 1 or 2 segments. That's it. I don't really want to do Unpopular Opinion because I already have an Unpopular Opinion.
Well, do it, because I don't have a sexual behavior in the ghetto this week. So.
Oh, so then yeah, we do.
Yes, you can do a popular
filler
opinion
real quick.
Because
no, that's not what I wanted to do. I switched those. Let's do. We already started with new music because you did.
Yeah, because I did the ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think what else came out since then. I mean, Ariana Grande is putting out a whole new record, and her record just came out, which I think is weird. But
no, it's not weird. She riding this wave.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
Says everybody's putting all the spotlight on her when they really, for the wrong for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But
let me think. We might have to wrap this up early. I really don't. I thought I had it, but it's written down for the other podcast.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, let's look. Come on, we have 47 minutes. It ain't too early.
That's true. Oh, you know what we could do a quick Issa Vibe, and then we can just kind of transition on up out of here.
Okay.
All right. Issa Vibe. Let me think.
Oh Jesus. Let me think.
Oh well. Why not draw from real life things?
Oh shit.
You are heading to the Jill Scott concert.
All right now.
With your new boo. And I will call you back.
Boo, that's
new boo.
I saw who they were.
I got a call. Okay, anyway.
No boo.
See how you get phone calls and just interrupt the whole podcast? Okay.
Y'all.
So, what is 2 songs that you absolutely have to hear from her when you get to the concert with your new boo? Because people act like they know Jill was nasty. We ain't gonna talk about that. I'm gonna let Tam give y'all 2 songs that she has to absolutely hear from Jill at the concert.
The Rolling Hill song.
Yes.
The Rolling Hill song.
Yes.
And it was just in my head. Lord help me.
You need me to pull up?
No. It's from her first album. The He Loves Me song. Those 2.
Oh. Lizelle.
Yeah, those are standards. But she doesn't always perform the Rolling Hill song.
No, she doesn't.
But when I saw her at one music fest, I think she did. She did a piece of Rolling Hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
My 2 songs that she has to do is Real Thing.
Yes.
I'm a real thing.
Yes.
I love that song. I don't know why. I love that song.
I don't think I've ever seen her perform that.
She hasn't.
She never.
She doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what me and
if I'm paying my money,
Yes.
get my damn song.
Yes.
Yes. The second song she has to do is the one she did with Paul Wall. Why does my body ignore?
Yes.
My mind says yes.
No, the last time I saw her, I did see her at one music fest, and she did a variety of things. And when I went to see her in Houston with my girlfriend, the song she did, and my friend was like, "You," and and this will make sense to you. When I went to go see her in Houston, I had just broken up with Old Bay, and she sang, "You don't know what love is." And when she sang that, my friend was like, "You ain't feeling it." I was standing up and
look, yes.
the people behind me was probably like, "This bitch don't sit down." And I was like, "Ah!" Like,
you don't know what love
yes,
is.
I was gone. I was like, "Yeah, yeah." Most of my friends was like, "It's okay." Yeah, I was having a nervous breakdown.
You don't know.
I was having a nervous breakdown, but I was like, Jill, she helped me out. I had to fly to a whole nother state to get that.
To get your blessing.
Child, did I?
All right, second scenario, since I said to get your blessing, you are on your way to church.
Church.
What's 2 songs you gotta listen to get you in the space, in the mind space to go to the Lord's house?
Total Praise and For Every Mountain.
Oh, I love Every Mountain. That's my song.
No, if I listen to For Every Mountain, I'm gonna be laid out in the church ground.
That's okay. Ain't no wrong with that.
Yeah.
Go on and lay.
Yes.
Lay out.
Look, done. Yeah, but those 2.
Okay. Mine is Marvin Winans, not Wayans, sorry. Marvin Winans, what is it? Draw Me Close. And my other one, Grateful. That lays me out. That lays me out. As soon as they be like, I am grateful, I'm like, yeah!
That's when you know it's done.
Yes.
It's over after that.
Yes, I'm done. So, just for y'all that think we don't know church songs and we are heathens, part-time.
Child, I sang in enough gospel choirs. When I was, look, just to let you know, when I was in the college, I sang in the gospel choir and in the gospel ensemble.